Welcome back, 5 Aces.
Battle control initialized.
Hey people, 5 Aces here. It's happening yet again. The cycle is continuing. In Season 1 and 2 of RAGL, we've had myself winning most of the games. In Season 3 and 4, we had Lorry Driver taking pretty much all the games. Then, in consecutive order, we had Barf dominating, we had... it was Ganon dominating, then we had Goat dominating, and after 2 seasons, all of these champions fell off a cliff really hard, in a metaphorical sense. And then, a new dominant champion emerged. It's happening yet again. So, let me explain. The 2 players in question here, the pink color, the upside down engineer, that is definitely Anjew. And he's facing off against Despro. Despro has been so far winning all his matches, as far as I'm aware. He has become the dominant player in this meta, and he is doing so with style. We're gonna be watching his career with great interest. Let's dive right into this. The map in question is Agita, whatever. And spread out rifles loosely for Anjew. They are gonna get picked apart by the dog of Despro. It's obviously Despro seems to be a Soviet player as well, or most of the time at least that I've cast these matches that has been going for Soviets, which is something I very much appreciate because it is the faction that requires arguably some more caution with regards to V2 micro, Yak micro, but yeah, both factions obviously have their own playstyles and techs. Alright, Anjew is already forced to sound the retreat. He's probably going for the hospital, or he's gonna try and sneak an engineer in the bottom side. And don't underestimate Anjew, never do that, because he is a player whom you think, okay, he's gonna be usually in the mid-tier of the RAGL pack, or towards the lower end, but then he comes out of the woodworks, surprises people by taking games off of top-tier players that no one saw coming. Despro going for a double ref style. Obviously, second and third rockets are going to be added on. Usually 3 rockets is the sweet spot to deal with any light vehicle incursions, unless your opponent is going for a crazy double allied light vehicle opener, which can pick apart the rockets, and then the light tank can swoop in and crush the rifles, which is a pretty good strategy against that. But Anjew is known for his greed play. And it's so hard, sometimes you just have to outgreed him. Sometimes the best strategy is to not move out of your base at all until you've got 6 harvesters and an MCV at minute 410 or something. 420, baby. Harvesters blazing it here. Despro, he knows that. Despro is aware of that playstyle, I think. Okay, this time around though, Anjew has made an adjustment and he has procured a pillbox and queued it up. So those Grenadiers, unless he cancels the Grenadiers, are not gonna do much. Flak truck as well, and I really have to say the combined arms approach is so beautiful to watch from Despro. He's doing so many things at once, and he's using all the units not in a death ball, but really each unit to its own strength. Double flak truck. He's trying to intercept an MCV, so the MCV is 30 seconds shy of coming online. So I think Despro may have studied the replays of Anjew, and his dominant strategy is sit in your base. Whether you win or lose the early game is not really of any relevance. Sit in your main base, wait until you've got 5 harvesters, build an MCV as fast as possible, go for as much greed as possible, war factory first, and only once the 5th harvester is coming online, you start spamming mass barracks and sending the first detachment of mixed infantry alongside your MCV. However, Despro has figured this out. Oh my goodness! He is moving the flak trucks preemptively. He is so expecting this. This is absolute insanity. This is a custom tailored build. The question is, does he have the DPS? Probably not. Okay, so Anjew survives with his MCV for the time being. Grenadier is going in as well. Okay, here's the pillbox. Still. Gets... Ooh, I think that kicked him into low power. Let's check. Yeah, certainly did. Not by a large margin, but still. Man. This is a surgical strike against Anjew's strategy here. To be fair, this is a strategy that has been used by many players. Anjew is not the only one, but Anjew is the one going the hardest for greed mode. So annoying. Medium tanks or any type of tanks are being outranged by flags. Flags have deceptively high range, and especially with the line of sight, it becomes so annoying to deal with them. Because the only thing that can catch up to them, or at least keep pace, would be rangers. And obviously don't want to send rangers into a flag meat grinder, but light tanks have the same speed. So you can at least tally them. That is an insane strategy from Despro. He still has the dog, by the way. He's retained that from the early game as well. Not too hard if your opponent is only going 5 rifles, but still, it is an accomplishment. There's like 6-7 rockets in this pack. No, 8. Wow. So he's just waiting to alpha strike this. He himself has established his Conyard without any resistance whatsoever. Man, this game. Those strategies involved here. Yeah, Anjew is sending back his ore truck. So just shaving off a pillbox for now. That hasn't been the worst thing in the world yet. Good reaction from Anjew. On the other side, we're seeing a lot of pressure as well. Anjew does have an army. Yet again, the flag trucks are waiting for the MCV to arrive, but this time he didn't find it. Okay, he is pulling his army back a little. Those flags are still around. There's still going to be a threat to any MCV that moves around unguarded. So Anjew has to absolutely make double sure he's not sending his MCV in without a lot of protection. Alright, that's the mobile flags taking a pummeling. That's fine. So, despite him not losing too much yet, Anjew has been really good with not losing too much, but still. The game plan. Despro is going into this with an absolute game plan. You can see that he knows exactly what is going to happen, what strategy Anjew is going for. And he's aware of the opponent's army movement. It's actually, his combat tab is going to be looking okay, but nothing too special. This is such a crazy game. Not many units have died, and yet the early game has been so tense. Like one of the most tense early games I've seen in a while. Ooh. Okay, that's a little miss there from Despro, not going for the ore truck. Didn't scout it. Okay, he's trying to bust through here with the turrets. Oh, and the flag trucks are waiting in the wings. They're waiting for the Conyard to undeploy. Question is, does Despro have enough? Yes, he does. Yes, he certainly does. Oh my goodness, and now with the flag trucks parked here, being parked in the waiting lounge. Ooh. This MCV has nowhere to go. He's just committing for it. Yep, down goes the MCV. But Anjew himself has dismantled, in a counter push, has dismantled some of the economy of Despro's. So Despro also losing out on one expansion at least. Wait. Oh no, he didn't lose his MCV, it's fine. That was just the refinery plus a harvester. That is definitely a net win for Despro. Despite him being behind in econ now. Wait a sec. Oh yeah, that's because Anjew hadn't established a refinery here just yet. But Despro is going for tech play. It is an 8-minute tech center, which is relatively early considering this is RAGL. There's a little push here as well. The infantry has been sent north, lots of rockets. Oh, Anjew does not want to send his tanks in. That is almost exclusively rockets. Yeah, that's enough to one-tap a tank. And the rockets are going in first! No, Anjew! What are you doing, my friend? He's sending back the rockets, okay. Trying to make a last stand here with this army. Trades it off relatively well. Despro is broke, though. Despro is completely broke in this game, and Anjew is still floating 7k. His economy is really good. Yeah, with all the micro, that is something that happens to me a lot as well. With all the micro and going for early tech, he has not found a window to establish his own bases. And crucially, there's still pillboxes sitting around here. So Anjew actually has a good shot. Okay, opening shot from the V2. Not the greatest, but sending back the V2, waiting for it to rearm. Oh, the force fire is good. V2 force fire, absolutely sick from Despro. He is gonna be in trouble though. That's the first V2 going down. Tesla coil being bought as a last-ditch measure here. The tanks, that's something I was talking about last Shoutcast, is whenever you're playing as Soviets and you're going for a tech transition, you have a very vulnerable window. Oof, wow. You are very vulnerable to tanks, because V2s can miss tanks. Yaks don't do anything against tanks, and if you lose all your infantry, just like what happened to Despro here, then you're gonna be in a pickle. Wow. Despro is broke, Anjew is floating 11k. What is going on? Is this gonna be the first loss being inflicted upon him here? It's not looking good for Despro at all. This is starting to look absolutely terrible for him. He's got a little infantry detachment, but 2 Yaks. He's trying to suicide his Yaks into the blob. Okay, trying once again. That was a decent shave off the infantry. Goes in yet again. Yak falling out of the skies. Okay, wow, the Yak actually doing a number on the infantry. Enough. Ooh, turns around again. There is yet another wave. This is so hard. Anjew's got so much economy. Despro is completely broke. What do you do? At this point, you've got the tech advantage and that's it. But he is establishing some pockets of econ here. He's on 2, 5, 6, 8 mines. Okay, so as soon as this gets back online, he's gonna be okay. He just needs time to recoup his losses. Because let's be real, Despro has more assets? What? How is Anjew not producing enough? I guess it's... yeah, he's building a second war factory now. That's good. 2 tanks from Despro being sent into the unprotected underbelly of Anjew's base. Man, this is Anjew's game to lose. If he loses this game, I don't know what to say. He would be theoretically so far ahead. He could have gone for tech. And Anjew usually does tech in a timely fashion. Big detachment being sent out yet again. Despro knows he has to do something to hold here. He's got a V2. I don't know if that's enough. A single V2, especially if the shots are not target fired. Oh, power down as well. Where's the power outage? Anjew has wasted his tanks though. And he didn't get an ore truck. Yeah, I don't know. Or? Okay. Yak decides against going in. Well, Anjew, my friend, this is the very screen where the battle is taking place. I don't think that that Despro is going to be oblivious enough to let the engineer capture your service depot. No, sir. Denied. What is Anjew cooking behind that? What's he cooking up here? Man, V2 Yak combo against stationary infantry. This is just a massacre. Oh, Lord. Secondary army pushing in with a chunky army there. 5 tanks, but the MCV survives. Economy gets shaved off a little. Man, what a game. This is absolutely crazy. The fact that Anjew has not won this just yet is just confusing to me. He had been so far ahead. Taking out the refineries now, that's pretty good. He managed to get some significant econ off of Despro, who is now himself up to 6 harvesters. Oh my lord. Oh no. The two tanks from Despro have ravaged the main base. There's been nothing here, and as a result he got 4 harvesters. Anjew, that is not supposed to happen. That is just obliviousness, inattentiveness. The V2 also doing a number here, taking out the ore refineries one after another. Yeah, those 2 tanks, they've killed... That's the 7th harvester they've killed. Hadn't it been for those 2 tanks, I think the game would have been over at that point. We've got a big engagement here. We've got lots of heavies now, and that's a composition I can get behind. This is much harder for the allied player to deal with because now you've got a chunky meat shield. You've got some solid heavy tank action as well as the V2s in the back lines, and that's how you play this. The window of vulnerability is closing for Despro. He's got a solid armor core to protect his V2s now. 3rd war factory for Anjew, but Anjew is running out of cash, courtesy of losing 6 harvesters. Man, the paradrop actually killing the service depot, really? It was... That's on Anjew for not protecting his main base. Really, that was not supposed to happen. At all. Long distance mining here as well. He is being strategically dismantled despite being so ahead in the early game. And that's what makes Despro so scary. He finds the vulnerabilities. And he's not someone who blindly pushes into a death ball. Okay, Paradrop now merging with the tank, and Anjew is none the wiser because he hasn't built his first helicopter yet. He's so broke. He's on 5 harvesters. Yikes. Ooh. We've seen a hit here. I unfortunately missed it. But with a line of sight advantage from the Yak, just goes to show how powerful Yaks are. And he only built 3 or 4. Most of them were sacked in order to deal with the infantry push. But 1 Yak remaining, and that thing provides so much vision. There's a tech transition now for Anjew. I doubt that's gonna factor in all that much. Because, I mean, artillery is protected with AA guns and a chunky front line of defenses. That's good for defensive play. But he needs to be offensive now. He needs to go on the offense, because otherwise he's going to be losing the map. Yeah, you can see the army movement from Despro. He's immediately pulling back his V2s as soon as there is any semblance of death. Okay, of threat. Okay, Yak gets sacked. Needs another Yak out here. Tesla Coil has melted the harvester of Anjew, and now the harvester of Despro is just standing on the wreckage and being like, yeah, what of it? Conyard being pushed forward. Yeah, the problem is that Anjew lost so much econ in his main base. Look at this. Flamer detachment here as well. Anjew's main base that's just a Potemkin's village. That's a couple power plants, a couple tents. Those barracks are just tents anyway, right? And in this base, in what is now his new main base, he has the artillery, sure. But he cannot move out. Because as soon as he moves out of anti-airgun range, he is gonna get pummeled by Yaks. So it's a really difficult position for Anjew to be in. And I really doubt he's gonna be able to come back off of this anymore. Despite being this far ahead. Despro now establishing his 4th base, so he's finally gotten his econ back up and rolling. He is going to be in a completely dominant position. He is transitioned to tier 3 as well. Floating 7k. Man, what more do you need? Despro's Ukraine. If he scouts this death ball, he may opt to go for a demo truck. That would be sick. Okay, pulling in. I love what he's doing there. Heavy tanks going in first, and they're soaking up all the artillery fire. So there is just absolutely no damage on the infantry. Anjew is trying to target fire against it, but there is just too much Soviet steel on the dance floor. The dance floor is being overrun and crushed by threaded vehicles. Man, this is brutal. That's the main base. That's the main base, Gonzo. Selling off the Conyard is Anjew. Whoa! That was a hit and a half here. Tech center is going down. What was he producing? Oh, he was producing something from the tech center. Next Yak is being sent in as well. Holding off for now. Tesla Coil deals with the front line. Nice. And the MCV can pull back and eventually deal with the infantry by spamming more defenses. Good hustle. Harvester still delivering its payload under duress. Yeah. GG is called. 18 minutes, 25 seconds. How did Despro come back from this? He was completely broke at some point. He had no army. And he basically held on with just sacrificing 3 or 4 Yaks into an infantry blob. And then stalling for enough time to have his economy back online. The big crucial mistake. Anjew was so ahead. Crucial mistake, not securing his main base. Losing 5 harvesters to 2 tanks. That is not supposed to happen at any point in the game. Alright, so that just goes to show Despro is not only creative with his approaches and with his timings, and has figured out, not only has he figured out the opponent's timings, he's also really persistent with coming back if need be from being behind in the mid game. Right, what a swingy game. Ooh, first Mammoth tank out. We're gonna be back in game number 2. See you in a sec.
Battle control terminated. Battle control initialized.
Alright, let's dive into the snowy climate for this one. This is Subjugated, the map that has the pseudo gem mine in the middle. Just looks like a gem mine, but it isn't. It's just a regular old ore mine. Gem mines have been a hotly contested topic in map making anyway, because they provide such weird income spikes, and whoever controls them usually wins out heavily. Alright, so this is one of those maps where you have to move out in a timely fashion. You don't have all that much ore. But what you can do, you've got enough construction radius, just send your original MCV a couple tiles down south, and then you're going to be able to access a third base as well. Same with the north. You can basically base crawl to that one. So it is a map where you can expand fairly easily without actually building an MCV, at least for the first portion of the game. And then you've got one contested mine in the middle and one corner expansion each. That's it. That's all the economy there is. Yeah, the last game was great indeed. That was probably one of the best in RAGL, only rivaled by Blackened versus, was it Blackened versus Bane? Blackened versus Despro is also really good. So, some top contenders already. This season is delivering, gotta say. Yeah, lots of aggression early on. And this time around, yeah, Anjew is ready. Anjew has built a pillbox, which he is not deploying. Ah, I see. I see. He was expecting a bit more aggression. I think he was just waiting for the Grenadiers to show up, but there were none. Despro has gone for France, so it's random this time around. I've seen him play Soviets most of the time, but that doesn't mean that he's picking Soviets. Probably just the RNG being a bit biased. Yep, War Factory first as per usual, and then it's gonna be... Oh my lord! Despro going for a 2-minute radar? Yes, sir. Yes, please, sign me up. I wanna sign up for this newsletter. I do consent to all the cookies. That is spicy. That's a very spicy build. That's probably a timing base buster or something like this. Medics as well, so he's just building a lot of infantry, double ref. Helipad, yeah. It's probably gonna be 2 Black Hawks. By the time your opponent can get out an MCV, you can build realistically 2 Black Hawks. Thing is, you need to make absolutely dead sure that you kill the first MCV, because otherwise your opponent is gonna be able to expand, and you can't. And then you're in for a 1-base play. I've made the mistake of going for this build and then trading off armies. That is not what you're supposed to do. Because, yeah, you're gonna have a great combat tab, but you're also gonna be completely broke in no time. And your opponent is gonna be able to expand, and all of a sudden he's got twice your econ, and he can afford to throw away as many units as they wish. Service depot is being procured here. 5th harvester is coming online, and that is okay, 20 seconds until a 6th harvester, and then the MCV. That gives Despro enough time to wait for a 3rd Black Hawk, maybe. He's going for a timing push with infantry and Black Hawks. Interesting. What's risky is if the first heavy tank survives, or if the first tank of your opponent survives, because then you've got no recourse. But let's see. Also, you need to win the coin flip on where your opponent is expanding. If you send your army to the south and your opponent is expanding to the north, then this doesn't do much. Then you just have a very expensive high-tech army sitting around, twiddling its thumbs. Yeah, he only built 2. Interesting. So that is a... Was that revealed? Oh, he has revealed his hand here. Interesting. I'm not sure if that's the right choice. He's trading off army. He's doing exactly what I told not to do. Okay, kills all the rockets though. MCV has been spotted. And he doesn't have enough ammo left in the base to kill it. So I don't know. Man, he's microing so hard. The question is... Oh, here's the pillbox, yeah. Okay, the pillbox can get killed easily. Nice. Ortruck providing some supplemental frontlining. This hasn't worked out for Despro. I feel he would have had to kill the MCV, which he has failed to do. So it's transition to light tanks, move out your original MCV. He can't afford to wait for a service depot now. He's just gonna fall behind too hard. That is very understandable. So let's take a look at the combat tab. Yeah, it's looking good. Let's take a look at the economy. Anjew is leading by 4k, and it's only gonna get worse courtesy of 4 under 7 harvesters. Yeah. Again, it's not looking too good for Despro as soon as the mid-game arrives. Wow. Anjew going for his own counter radar dome as well. And with those wind-up toys, you can't fight real tanks. That is one of the major issues with allied light tank play. Your opponent has actual armor, so you can never win a head-on fight. You have to basically sneak into the backlines and kill either ore trucks or power plants. Some critical infrastructure anyway. Yeah, Anjew's moving out his first army. Sure. So what Despro can do now is he can single out the rockets and he can trade very favorably, but he still has a wall of tanks and rifle infantry to contest. So that's not going to be an easy hold at all. Yeah, he's angling it. Angling it and singling out the rockets. Very good. That's some good micro. One has been missed. Ooh, that's unlucky. One of the rockets survives. That was some AoE though from the second Black Hawk. Yeah. That was... Losing one of the Black Hawks probably already pretty damning. He only has one Black Hawk left now. So on this map, I guess it's more forgiving than on other maps because you have time to... you basically don't need an MCV. You can just send your own starting MCV around and cover enough ground. Man, Anjew again has the keys to the kingdom. He could be the first player to take a game off of Despro here. And it's starting to look good. Base push is about to commence. Oh my goodness, an anti-air gun parked right into the middle of the map. Just basically stopping any and all airplay. That is so smart. That is a really good call from Anjew. We're seeing some scuffles. Okay. Anjew himself is up to 2 Conyards. He's got really good... Oh no. Oh no. If Anjew doesn't realize this, that is one of the most brilliant non-combat moves I've seen in a while. So what Despro did there is put his tank on hold fire. Anjew is not realizing this. And the reason why he's not realizing... Okay, yeah, he's realized it now. Never mind. But it still cost him a lot of mining time. If Anjew had been a little less attentive here, this tank parked in the refinery would have cost him tens of thousands. Artillery from the backlines now, and there is finally enough... Oh! Is the MCV going down? No, it isn't. He's committing into 2 anti-air guns. Not the best. Not the best call here, but finally manages, with some friendly fire, finally manages to push back Anjew. Anjew's got an auxiliary army though. And that auxiliary army is coming straight for your eco lines. Coming soon to an eco line near you. We are seeing tier 3 for Anjew. Excuse me. More specifically, tier 3 before the opponent has gone for tier 3. Anjew must feel like he's super far ahead. Which he is 5k, but that is not insurmountable. That is definitely something that can still be overcome. He's not building any tier 3 though. That's so awkward. You build a tech center and then nothing from the tech center. Oh no. That's a harvester surviving yet again. Anjew really needs to work on his closing out skills. Because it's been so many times that he's come so close to finishing a game, finishing a harvester, and then not delivering, not pulling through. Man. Artillery is really well positioned in the backlines for Despro. He's mounting a defense. And getting some good kill shots. Counter artillery pressure. Despro's got nothing. Despro's got nothing that can close the gap. Oh, wait. He's got a pillbox though. Okay, infantry are streaming in. The shells of the artilleries are being cracked. Second war factory coming online. Finally, there's a Tanya. Oof, that was been an expensive hold, but he has held. Anjew is giving this game away yet again, isn't he? This is absolutely crazy to me. The force fire, yeah, honestly, the tech play has just been supreme from Despro. It's just the objectively better tech play, I'm sorry. It's the way it is. Tanya is waiting here. That's not a good position for her. She can get sniped by an artillery, by a stray artillery shell at any given time. There is nothing in this southern perimeter. Anjew, have you blown this yet again? Yeah, he's broke. Both players broke, but 10k lead for Despro now. How? Has Anjew not expanded into... Oh, he hasn't taken a third base. Harvester dead. Base dead. Tech Center under peril. Tanya out of position. It's looking absolutely bleak for Anjew. Oof. Nice dodge here. Very deliberate dodge. Just shows how Despro is really microing his heart out with his army. He's never randomly sending it in to just a move and fire and forget. Yeah, I really have to have a lot of praise for Despro's playstyle here. Just very elegant. Tanya pushing him back, and this army is obviously forfeit because vision support plus Tanya equals a very dead infantry army, but then you leave yourself open to a push on the other side of the map. So there's that. That's a trade-off. And that is going through the base like a hot knife through butter, and GG being called. Despro holding on 2 times in a row. No one has come as close to taking 2 games off of Despro as Anjew. I gotta commend the man, but he needs to work on closing out games. He was this far ahead. And first game, he lost to 2 random tanks on the backline. Second game, he really lost because he didn't take a base despite being ahead. Yeah, and I didn't think this playstyle for Despro would be working, but I guess this map also plays into it a little. And again, that just feeds back into how Despro is choosing his builds wisely and according to the map. He's not just randomly building a radar onto refineries. He knows that he can get away with it on this map, even if he doesn't inflict critical damage immediately, because you can relatively safely expand with your original MCV without having to move out from a base all that much. Yeah, so definitely a tactic people have to keep an eye on, because this map allows for it, and that's cool. I like some variety in a map pool, and this one definitely allows for some special tactics. Right, Despro thus far still 100% win rate. We are going to keep track. I'm going to be casting more RAGL, and finally the new release of Shot Paradise as well. Thank you for watching. See you next time in a couple days. 5 Aces out.